think that's good for here, right?
Holla.
Where are we now?
We are in the beautiful costume shop at American Players Theater, where some of the lovely sewing ladies are hard at work. A lot of things this year have been built from scratch, which I think is a lot more work, but they're really beautiful.
How many costumes are you wearing this year?
I think it's 8 in Allswell, and then another 2 in the Circle. Well, one of the first things you have to do is, it's set in the Edwardian period, so all the women are corseted. So one of the first things they do is find a corset that's going to work for you and start to build in any padding you might have, of which I have quite a bit. So you get sort of fitted for all the undergarments first, and they start fitting shoes, because the shoes are really important too. They have to be comfortable. You have to be able to move in them. And then they'll fit you in mock-ups of different costumes. So they'll make dresses and things out of muslin and try them on and have the designer look at them and make any adjustments they want to make. And then they'll go back through and make the real deal, and then you'll get fitted again in the real dress. And then they'll make any last-minute alterations. I love the, I wear this really beautiful like mint green dress at the top, and I wear this sweet little jacket when I go to visit the king, and it's really hot on warm nights, but it's the full costume of the visiting the king with the hat that Michael Hansen built. It's so beautiful. It's such like a picturesque look from another time. That one's probably the trickiest to get into and out of. So I get baby powdered before we put it on to try to slide in quicker. Most of my changes are pretty quick, but none of them are like a 30-second change or something. I usually have about a minute or 2, and my dresser, Amy, is really good. So it's kind of down to a science. She can hand me one thing to do while she's doing something else, and then we can put things together. Well, the director had told me that was one of his ideas that he had initially for the play. He wanted the medical box to be sort of this Mary Poppins bag that would sort of explode and things would come out of it. And so the version that they came up with eventually, Harlan built from scratch, and it's based on an artist's easel, the way it folds open. And we got it a couple weeks into the process, and I had to do a lot of speed trials with it. So the assistant stage manager, Matt, and I would go into the hallway and just practice undoing it and doing it back up repeatedly with a stopwatch for several days. But it's not too bad. Although talking while doing it is sort of, it's complex. No, the only the main malfunctions that'll happen is like the legs not wanting to open or closing wrong. But because I take it off stage with me every time, I hand it to the assistant stage manager who checks it while I get changed. So it gets like reset every time I'm gonna use it. I was gonna be wigged initially to a color a little redder than my hair color, I think, but they just let me wear my own hair. It's nice. It's a lot cooler not to have a wig on, which is really nice. It's so much cooler, except when there's a lot of humidity, it starts to curl everywhere and do what it wants, so there's less control over it than if it was a wig.
Over the course of the summer, or the repairs that have to get done to your costumes?
Yeah. Mine, not yet. I haven't had any repairs yet, but I think some of the guys have. They wear a lot more like machinery, right. Things that'll break and fall off, but I'm sure we'll run into something.
Right, and also there's like battle scenes and fights.
Yeah, their costumes take a beating. So I think some of the guys have had repairs, but that's not uncommon, especially in a run this long. For something to break or like snaps to zippers, things can get fudged with.
Okay.
Yeah.